Alright then. Today, we're back with Hades on the short game day. Currently sat in a room that is far colder than I would like it to be. Hey, who did I just lose against? It was, what's his name? The pompous one. I never remember.
Look, I have to say, I just don't think you have a real chance against both Theseus and the Minotaur together. But you might just have a chance to get the Minotaur's autograph from me if maybe you ask nice or something?
No.
Conversation happens slightly out of order sometimes.
Your extended family, the Olympians, they wish to help you from this place, don't they? I just hope that their intentions are as pure as they appear. They don't get on well with your father.
Neither do I last time I checked. I'll take all the help I can get trying to break out of here.
I'm pleased to hear you say that. I've known too many far too proud to accept help, even when it was sorely needed. You just be careful, lad.
Oh.
Interesting. Normally, Cerberus is missing. That means that Hades is as well.
The lounge is all tidied up. Your house contractor there is quite efficient once you muster up the necessary funds. You should try it sometime.
Are you expecting words of thanks because you paid the contractor to fix a bit of devastation that you caused? I fear it shall take rather more than that.
What if I replaced every furnishing in this blasted place? Would you treat me any better then?
I suppose, boy, that there's only one way to find out, though I suggest you save yourself the trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all.
Makes me wonder what does happen. See, I don't have any... Yes, none of the gem purchases will actually impact the game in any way. So it is all purely decorative now. Interesting. I would quite like the Stygian towel rack. Seems like it would be a nice bit of visual comedy.
Nix, the Olympians have been immensely helpful, but did they really have to get mixed up in all this? I could have gone off on my own.
And you would not have gone far, child. Your father is too proud to accept assistance in personal matters. Do not cede the advantage that you have.
That's very odd that this conversation is happening right alongside a conversation that just happened with Achilles. Said it was good that we were accepting help, but now we're complaining about it.
But I'm
Oh, my cat's arrived.
taking advantage of their good graces trying to find Mother. What if they find out?
Back to his usual spot.
I shall do everything within my power to prevent this, as shall you.
Understood.
But that was then and this is now, and we have work to do. Anyway, Than, I think we'd best continue this discussion at some other time.
You're interrupting private conversations, Agrius. Leave us.
No, let him stay if that's what he wants. What does it matter? He's technically allowed within these halls, but he must know he isn't welcome anymore.
Guess I haven't seen any fishing spots recently. So... yeah, I have a fair bit of darkness right now. I get a faded authority. Want faded persuasion. Boards entirely. I think I do want this. Just for the chance to get a dataless hammer. So,
How's it going?
as I alluded to previously, the environment I'm in is very cold right now. I have a space heater set up. So I'm going to turn it on right now, since there's a few people in here. Would like any information on whether or not it is too loud or anything like that. How is that? Is it causing any ambient noise or disturbance? Meantime, I will get into grabbing things. I'll take the Zeus ring. Just because. And I'll follow the darkness where it leads. Into my escape. Hammer, please. Exactly as ordered. Let's see. Slowing foes. Damage in an area. I think I'll take this one.
Load it up.
Very good. What is the visual difference? Just red and blue now, I suppose. Slightly fancier shell. Ah! It slows them in the area. Doesn't actually have to land yet. It is very good.
Ready.
I wonder. I believe I have the ability that causes bonus damage to be taken by enemies. So long as... Specific requirement. I think they have to be afflicted by a certain number of status ailments. And I'm wondering if the slow applied by the grenade counts as one of those status ailments.
Well, if it isn't the one and only rail of adamant in your possession there. To strike one's enemies from afar is really the only way, I think, and it's about as good a substitute for lightning bolts as you're likely to find.
Well, I mean, you give me lightning bolts occasionally. No need for any substitute there. There. I'll just take the Thunder Dash. I'm going to turn off the heater now. Haven't gotten any responses, and I'd hate for the audio on this to be ruined in any way. It was very nice. It was just pleasant seeing visual effects of the slow applied. See. Let's try this out. Not the biggest fan of Obol, but we'll have to do. I feel like I tend to close distance quite a lot with this weapon. Isn't really how it seems to be meant. There's probably some way to say that correctly. But I'm going to ignore that. Very useful against enemies to be close, though. Slowing those hands is major boon. I did want to go and visit Aphrodite just so that I can get her a trinket with a gift. Huh. Give this gift here.
Chaos. Everyone makes offerings to my relatives upon Olympus. I wish to make an offering to you. Thank you for everything.
How cruel of you to make attempts to tempt me with material things. You then, please in turn allow me this attempt at reciprocity.
Master Chaos, thank you.
As we become acquainted, son of Hades, I shall make myself quite clear in one respect. I fear I have a lack of patience for discussion. When visiting, please merely listen, accept my mark, and then depart. Respond only when necessary, or when prompted. Yes.
Merely listened, so it's just like when I get those messages from the Olympians. Wait, you did just prompt me, Master Chaos, didn't you? Or should I have remained silent just now?
I cannot offer you advice, but you were prompted, yes. You may speak freely, then or any time, despite my wishes that you not do so. Absolute silence is my general preference. It may not be yours.
Alright. Green cat. No special. That is a heavy ask. It's only for 3 encounters. Ah, but I would like bonus special damage. As my build is very special focused. Ooh, okay. That wasn't what I was expecting. Ooh, I'm not doing well against this enemy. Fortunately, ooh. I've sort of determined his pattern for when he's going to come up from behind, but,
You stab me, I stab you.
a lot trickier to anticipate than I had hoped.
He told me I was all washed up. Can you believe the nerve of it, nephew? Why, he took the words right out of my mouth.
Tempest Strike may actually be exactly what I'm looking for with this weapon. Moving enemies away from me while striking from afar. It is actually rather difficult not knowing what room you're going into. Ah yes, the ability to slow and push enemies away is very strong. Where I dash, I deal bonus damage as well. Interesting. Hands are largely unaffected by knockback, it seems. Ooh. Alright, oh, I'm running into quite a few issues. Not my best run, I have to say.
Over there.
In fact, quite possibly one of my worst runs. Go for this room. Seems harmless.
It's him, Baldy.
Ah,
Say, tell me something, Prince.
oh, this is a nice change of pace.
So intent on getting out of here. I mean, what happens when you do?
Sisyphus, you ever lose somebody dear to you? There's someone out there whom I need to find. That's all that I can say right now.
I get it, Highness, and I didn't mean to pry. It's just, I can't remember what it's like to want something so bad, you know? Whoever's out there, I hope you find them soon.
Alright, darkness. It's one and the same as healing.
My Chaos Bone switched to a new effect.
Good. I deal bonus damage with my special now.
Good enough to eat.
Yeah, that'll do.
Extra blessing.
Do a bit of fishing.
That's a bite. The hellfish.
And
Check the old well.
I do need healing fairly badly. I'll take that. Darkness or gems? I do have a fairly healthy need for darkness right now. A rather threatening amount of skulls. Fortunately, my best attack hits in an area. Ah, that was one of the more interesting encounters. Simple, very gratifying, specifically. Can get both a pomegranate and a blessing. I think I will.
Cheers, mate.
Why not?
I feel all tingly.
Let's deck out in lightning, suppose.
Lovely.
Finally. Redblood, I'm getting awful sick of seeing your smug face time after time after time.
Have you given any thought to just leaving me alone and going back to wherever it is you came from?
You see, that is exactly what I mean. To think that Megara had to put up with you for I don't know how long.
Alright.
Remember this?
I do very much need to get the boon from Poseidon that causes what is it? Bonus damage instead of knockback to bosses, because most of them don't suffer from knockback.
She's getting mad.
Electo's probably the Fury that I have the most trouble with. Comfortable to say. Why was I invincible there for a second? Not entirely sure what that was about. I'm wondering if Electo and Zeus or not Zeus, but Ares, rather, have any connection in lore, as their abilities are very similar. Ooh, this, slowing is not helping too much. He is still incredibly fast. Ooh. What killed her? Hello, Cord. Welcome to the stream.
She won't like this.
Oh, that was very close. I feel like the large enemy was actually about to knock out my first use of Death Defiance there. I think I will actually switch off of Zeus's boon. I've gotten all I need out of it.
Might help.
Poseidon has some more useful items for me.
That's enough Tartarus.
Glad to see you around though, Cord. I see I have notifications on Twitter. I am stranded right... Ah yes, Cord. Since you are chatting, I am going to turn on my space heater because I am in a very cold room right now. And tell me if it makes too much noise, alright? There we go, it's on now. Let me know if it's overpowering my voice or if it's an annoying background noise. I don't want to ruin the audio. I'm wondering if their pathing is tied to their movement speed. 'Cause if it is, then making enemies walk into lava by slowing them down is an interesting strategy, if not an inconsistent one. But I suppose that knockback does that anyways. What do you have for me?
That's about to change. You got my guarantee.
Yes, I think I will take the greatest reflexes. Very useful, especially with a ranged weapon. Although I suppose it's useful with any weapon. Especially ones with good dash attacks, which this does not have. I suppose all I meant by that is it's very useful for escaping. Stay in that lava. Or not. Oh, I thought I would get hit by that one for sure. You wonder... Was it? Wonder about too many things and then forget what I was wondering about. Feeling. Well, I'm going to turn the heater back off now since I have not received any conclusive answers onto whether or not it's loud or distracting. Well, Poseidon and Zeus then. Interesting dual rivalry. think I want to take Poseidon's boon first, as, Poseidon's probably the passive that scares me the most. Wounds with Knockafoot also inflicts rupture. That's sort of what I wanted.
What have I done, good nephew, to deserve such scorn? Your lapse in judgment here is not so easy to forgive, yet easily punished.
Well, that's that.
I'm assuming that, yes, those are fairly easy to predict. I would, very much like if these enemies were, but if I give them Riptide and they jump 1,000,000 miles, that's going to hurt a bunch. Interesting. Very useful information. I suppose it was too hopeful for to think that might be the final round. Gorgon balls. Oh, that's why. I thought there were only 2 Gorgons, but there are, in fact, 3. Fight is involving quite a lot of running away. Now stunned with a Riptide. Just stopping for a half second to reload or shoot is proving to taking quite a toll on my health. There we go. Ah.
Nephew, but I simply can't stay wrathful toward you, much as I might try. They're better not to tempt me, just in case.
I feel like I must have lost, maybe 50 health in that room itself. I suppose I'm not as good as dodging lightning as I thought. Jolted or reflex? Probably just jolted. I'm getting quite a lot of low-level enchantments. I feel as if, Artemis has the better passive bonuses. Ah, it does. Unless that was, Riptide and Jolted. Which it probably is. This weapon doesn't quite have the infinite capacity to destroy ranged projectiles that many others do. Oh, I'd better find a fountain soon, because I am probably going to die.
Well, I, for one, had a lovely time.
So, I have heard that Achilles himself taught you how to fight. No wonder you can hold your own down there. That is amazing. Do be sure to honor him from time to time, got it?
pressure point is probably the best I'm going to get out of it. Alright. I am far lower health than I would like. Oh. Those were some very needless pieces of damage that I took there. I'm wondering if Riptide can actually deal lethal damage, because so far it seems to stop them at very low health, but take it no further than that. Get rid of these. Hmm, that's unfortunate. Knocked out of range of my own area of effect. Okay, it can kill. Good to know. I suppose a good way to get them to stay still is to trigger their self-explosions. Then suppose I'll go to the... Perhaps the O-Ball is the better choice overall. More chance of getting a arrow in the pre-boss shop.
Something's off.
Oh, Thanatos.
I can't stay long, so how about we get this business over with?
Fortunately, Thanatos rooms don't have a very high chance of causing me to die. This is the first time I feel like Thanatos is beating me. Oh. Oh, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Okay. I'm just going to focus on the low health enemy. Let him take care of the ones with armor. Okay. Fortunately... Ooh, okay. Seems as if... I don't think I'm going to win this one.
This won't go on the record. Listen to me. I don't know how else to put this, but I want you to come home voluntarily. It's not just you swept up in all this nonsense now, and I know you didn't ask for me to get involved, but what did you expect?
Than, home is never going to be the same for me. There's no use trying to pretend. I have to go.
You don't have to do anything of the sort. You have no idea how good you've had it here. Maybe someday you'll come to understand.
Should be something useful here.
Yeah. Hold on to my O-Ball now, fortunate. For this room in particular.
Pleasure doing business.
Oh yeah. I did have 35 left over. If only. I might take this one, if not for the fact that I already have the epic dash. Not that I am dashing too often, though. Wonder. I think this may actually be one of my better options. It's either this or Crystal Beam. Oh well, I clicked it anyways. Well then.
Big one, huh?
I suppose it's probably not the best choice going into a boss. Riptide's not very useful against this Hydra, is it? Suppose unless they dash quite a lot. What are the chances of that happening? Suppose you can force it fairly easily. Alright. This is doing a fair amount of damage, though. Not entirely sure who that's supposed to be dangerous for. It's very easy to get behind the Hydra heads. And ranged enemies don't have to be anywhere near the lava. Feels, fairly easily avoidable. Of course, I say that now, but I can guarantee that I will most certainly die to it at some point in the future. Remembering to, use these gems is actually probably going to save me. Yeah, and I don't feel like that's threatening to too many types of enemies. It's too far away to actually be useful against any ranged opponents. None of the weapons can go that far.
Done bashing heads for now.
Oh well. I think I'll keep with Poseidon's Boon.
Take me up.
Is still good to get some of his passives. Quite surprised I've beaten the boss of this level with the rail. I thought for sure I hadn't. Bonus health is going to be necessary for sure. Ah, but it still knocks them away fairly well. Need to keep them slowed and far away. It doesn't matter that I deal reduced damage from the front, because they can't get to me. Oh. They can if they come from more than one direction, apparently. Very well. Oh. However, Riptide, this enemy's greatest bane. They can't help but run headlong towards me. More hammers, please.
Splitters. Easy.
Was surprisingly. Ooh. I don't seem to have the, will to live in order to get out of the way of those, whatever they are, arrows, ballistae shots, cursed eyeball.
Anytime.
to see you die. Very good.
It's just the edge I need.
I think the chamber.
Beware the adamant rail.
Yes, it's a lot faster. I hate having to reload this weapon. I'll go through here. And I believe after this room my boons will all be improved by 1 rarity. I do very much enjoy seeing is it the health staying permanently in the damaged state. Oh, that's unfair. Almost certainly killed that one before it picked up its weapon. I'm so very bad at this game. Oh. That was humorous.
Lady Demeter.
You bear the blessing of Poseidon, Zagreus. Someday I shall remind him of his place and freeze his watery domain entirely.
So I think I'll take the beam. Especially now that I have multi-drop. Going to be very useful. Once again, I believe she has the better passives. If I'm going to have to fight Asterius either way, I'd prefer for this.
Fight against me, short one. I too have come to look forward to it, even if I end up falling to your strength.
Oh, I was going to say I'd much prefer we settle this more amicably, couldn't we? Perhaps I could interest you in a fine bottle of nectar. Ambrosia, even.
No, thank you. These battles are enough. Besides, you won that ambrosia from us, fair and square.
I suppose the one thing I'm not a fan of is the amount of counter synergy between the slowing and the riptide. I wonder, is there any way to make these lasers stay out longer? 'Cause it would be ever so useful if I didn't have to keep picking these up and firing them. Ugh, I feel like I've barely done any damage to him at all. That was tricky to dodge. I don't see myself getting out of this without losing another Death Defiance. Oh, to this attack specifically. Oh. Feels as if there's not much I can say right now, except I fear for my life constantly. There I go. Ah. Well.
Got you, Asterius.
Very close. So I suppose if I
In the name of Hades.
run into the other one, forget his name. Fast or hidden attack or special? Seeking. I believe that is actually going to be good. Let's proceed. I think I'd have her mark, given how much I'm encountering.
In the name of Hades.
Oof. Effective. Take the call. Nothing else for it, really. Ah. Alright, this room seems like it's probably going to be taking a long time. Just wish I could easily apply Riptide to these enemies. They run so much.
Come die again.
Oh, I do keep hitting the reload button. I'm not used to not needing to, I suppose. How unfortunate. Or if the greater call is even worth it with this weapon.
That's the stuff.
I was hoping it reduced the travel time. Seems like it may. Fairly difficult to tell. Alright, more health.
Time to fight.
Can't tell if the shield bearer... Okay, they weren't an shielded enemy to start with. That makes some amount of sense. I feel like epic shield bearers are probably one of the most annoying class of regenerating enemies. Don't come back.
That ought to keep me going for a bit.
Gems or keys? Well, I don't really have any use for keys anymore. May as well go for gems. It is very useful just being able to lay down all of your damaging abilities. Okay, well. I do not feel safe right now. With all of these archers abound. Ah, I didn't actually think I would dash past that wall there. Only trying to get into the corner. Shop is the best choice right now.
Should come in useful.
Ah. Interesting. I suppose I'll take that one. Just for the completionist bonus. I don't believe I do any knockback damage to these foes.
Gentlemen, I'm back. Theseus, before you flap your ghostly gums at me again, I'd like to hear from good Asterius this time. He almost never gets a word in thanks to you.
The king speaks for the both of us, short one. Though if you wish to hear me say something to you, I will oblige.
And I too shall oblige. That is, oblige my trusty spear, which yearns to penetrate your soft and vulnerable, altogether pallid flesh. Now die!
Alright. Oh. Okay. Just need to apply as much Riptide as possible to Asterius. Oh. Right. I forgot I can do that. I suppose the biggest downside to this is that it doesn't, what does it, apply boiling blood? Although the other option is no better, really, as it also only applies when it's stuck into the enemy. So I suppose you... Oh, I don't have any uses of Death Defiance, do I? Oh. I have a single hit left in me. I don't believe I'll be defeating Theseus. Especially not when he has his shield up so often. And I've yet to even reach the halfway point. Unless there's literally no god that comes to help him. That'd be a nice change of pace. Alright, well, let's see how quickly I die. Yes, there we go.
I shall await when next you clamber to these heights.
Not very good at dealing with Theseus while using ranged weapons, I'm afraid.
God, that no good loudmouth Theseus.
I'm amazed I've managed it before. Don't even remember that.
Welcome to the House of Hades. Hades, where death is our life.
Probably had more uses of Death Defiance than none for that, though.
You asked I train him, Master. Prepare him for life's labors. You ordered it. Now you admonish me.
Be careful of your tone and temper, Shade. You are in my employ. You could be warned.
Hello, Naruto. Welcome to the stream.
Or lesser planes, if I so choose.
Alright, very quickly, before you have time to tune out or anything like that, I'm about to turn on my space heater, and I would like any input as to whether or not it is too loud. How is this? Is it making an annoying amount of noise?
What would you have me do?
I shall be giving it some thought. Until then, you just watch that hole. And what?
Achilles.
Have you considered doing music?
No? That's fine then. Alright, good. Because I'm in a very cold place right now.
Not really been at the top of my list of late, mate. But who knows? Something
Very glad that I can be warm once again.
Thanks for the words of encouragement.
Ah, it's been quite a while since I've gotten a follow bot. Let's... I live somewhere cold. Oh, wow. They're just piling in. See, there's probably a way. Oh. Good lord. Let's just get rid of these. There we go.
Of course, my friend.
But the, oh, a prophecy was foretold. Yes. The, temperature has been around 0 degrees Celsius for the past few days.
My place is not to speak too openly of chaos, child. It is their own prerogative to tell you of themselves. I can say they are the eldest force within this world. Before them, there was nothing.
Then where did... Never mind. This is not...
Oh, and I do have a fish.
What's cooking? Always a pleasure.
I live in the northeast United States. Been very cold. Additionally, heating is not working. Gift of Song. Learn to play the lyre. Can I do that now? Temperature is high there. Oh. I'd expect so. You're in the southern hemisphere, I believe. The seasons are flipped between northern and southern hemisphere.
I've no more darkness. Looking good.
It'd be midsummer for you, but it's the dead of winter for me. Still not a gift to Aphrodite. There's the egg. Take the egg. See how well it turns out. 21 Celsius, yeah. Winter is ending. Let's see. I'm not going to turn down an epic level attack boost. Oh, more Dionysus. I'm fine with this. I suppose I'm doing a poison build now. Not entirely sure what that entails. I haven't actually worked with Dionysus for quite a while. Festive Fog, I suppose. The others were a bit too specific. Having a Mortar Strike for a cast is also very useful. Just about as useful as having it for a special. Although this one seems to come out quite a lot faster. And it can be fired in rapid succession. Always fairly useful. And there's a free Chaos Door. Oh right, I forgot. I always forget what this special does. What do you have for me, Chaos? Yes, that was surprising. It's the most spam bots I've ever received.
Exactly, Master Chaos, but Nyx, yes, she has been aiding me in my attempts to flee my father's realm.
And I've not seen them for quite a while. Hmm. Interesting choice. Yes. I believe the maximum number of spam bots I've ever seen is 2 at a time. That was quite the step up for 4. Oh, I saw a skull pile. Interesting, skull piles can get knocked back. Didn't think that were possible. They seem so stationary. Let's come single. Yeah. Not sure why I entered the shop. I didn't have anywhere near enough gold to buy anything. I'm just going to leave. What a waste of a room. I'm hoping that I can get a good, dodge ability. I never realized how heavy metal the music is. I'm supposing that's a mini-boss exclusive style for the music.
Why you wield Coronac the Heartseeker. I never took you for an archer, though the power of that bow is undeniable. Use it wisely.
special can deflect. Interesting. I think I would prefer to just resist damage. Golden pot. That was very satisfying, picking off skulls one by one. Bit closer. Oh, interesting. I accidentally pierced through to one of the pots. Just feels as if my special is simply a worse version of my cast right now.
The curse of chaos has expired.
I suppose I don't need to pick it up. It'll fly to me anyways. Yes, this build is turning out to be rather good right now. Especially since it looks like each of those fog clouds stacks stuns. Ah. Now then. I'm hoping I can get something that increases my special's potency. I somehow missed that trap on the floor there. Ow. Interesting. So even if they die, their stun remains. What an interesting interaction. Now then, what do I want out of this?
Fine-tuning.
Resting? Let's go for chain shot, why not?
The deadliest bow of all.
Applying hangover to multiple enemies will be very useful. Ow. Especially in situations like this where there's exactly 3 enemies. Ah, and for much smaller enemies like the pots. Makes hitting them very easy. All I have to do is hit large enemies nearby.
Uncle Poseidon.
What do you have for me, Poseidon?
Reach me that you squared against one known as Theseus, now champion there in Elysium. He was a handful even when he lived. So much so that my honored brother Zeus, he took to calling him my son. Can you believe the nerve?
Say, the Tempest is very high level. I'll take it.
Let's make some waves, right, Uncle?
Because I have seen that it's possible. I believe it's the Daedalus bow that unlocks the ability. But it causes all of the arrows to focus on a single point. Which will be very useful if all of those knockbacks hit at the same time.
Not rob you on your journey to the surface there, nephew.
Basic Thunder Dash will be fine.
Time to face the Furies.
Ah,
I'm back.
tricky situation.
Be thankful for, you know, Red Blood. Your daddy could have shut you in the lowest pits, and then we never would have met.
Very specifically in our last encounter, Lecto, you were complaining about how much we met.
What you have done with yourself if not for all our fated encounters.
I don't know. I mean, before we met, I played all sorts of other trash down here. But lately I've been keeping them waiting because of you.
Well, I don't think my casts will stun her. Oh, they do, ever so slightly. Ranged weapons against Electo is not fun. I suppose the poison is helping out a fair deal. I don't have to worry too much about my health as long as it doesn't get to 0. I could probably drop down to 1 and still have enough health left. Just have to not use everything. I have so much healing available to me. Alright.
I don't like her very much.
Because I can get this, and that'll heal me up to half. And then afterwards there's a fountain waiting for me that'll get me the rest of the way. Oh, nearly.
Next floor.
I'm betting quite a lot on chaos being available of these rooms. His boon does not do much for me otherwise. I don't think it even improves the chances of him appearing, it simply, lets me in for free. Interesting, when he was hitting the wall, he was dealing wall slam damage. I didn't think that could happen. Ah, and I forgot that I have chain attacks. Floating skull died in the sky.
For you, boss? Well, Dionysus doesn't, as you're probably aware. Throws quite a feast, though.
Let's get a side hustle going on. Alter the O-Ball. Let's go see what else Dionysus can give me. Wonder if he has any good passives. I don't really remember. You going to die? No, I thought you might still be poisoned. Oh, that is very strong when you shotgun it. Fortunately, most enemies don't let you get away with that. I especially don't want it to use these on enemies that when they die, explode. That's not actually too difficult to achieve when, I have bouncing shot.
Should I take the tray?
Oh, thing there. I don't have enough missing health for this to be worth it. I suppose it would heal me up to full, nearly guaranteed, but I don't see the point in spending extra time on it. I suppose, actually, I deal too much damage because my foes aren't left poison afflicted for long enough for me to get the bonus off of it. At the very least for unarmored foes. Alright. I would like to replace my dash with a deflecting one rather than a lightning bolt, if you wouldn't mind, Lady Athena. I do like the boat music. It reminds me of Bastion. Not entirely sure what the instrument is. I like it. Well enough. Alright, then.
In the name of Hades.
Nothing I was looking for, unfortunately. Suppose I'll be satisfied with that one. I will most likely be taking a fair amount of damage. Especially if I run into any foes that, what is it? The ones that have a bunch of rapid-fire melee attacks. Those ones will probably be very susceptible to this. The boon that I just received, that is. Oh. Dude, right behind me. I would very much enjoy some healing right about now. I don't know that I'm bold enough to do that right now, especially not while I'm at half health.
Get me out of here.
Pomegranate it is, then. These aren't quite the enemies that I was thinking of. This hangover boon is very useful. I wish it was visibly signified when you had 3 or more enemies hung over, but you can pretty visually see the difference in the amount of damage you're doing. Ah, I see you noticed that I added new redemptions. Ah. I swallowed that water improperly. Alright. Well, that coughing definitely caused me to stretch quite a bit. Time for more bad influence. Yes, my follow number has reached a rather nice number. Thanks for the follow, Jazzmeister. I recognize your name. Welcome to the stream. Onwards I go. Yes, my display is slightly off to the side, so I have to turn my head a bit more than usual to keep it in view.
Power of the gods.
No problem. Always welcome here. What do I want? Suppose I'll boost my, ranged attack. And by ranged attack, I mean cast. Everything I do is a ranged attack with this weapon. Now I'll just stand over here and left click every now and then. Very simple encounter with ranged weapons this is. I don't even have to bother too much about the skeletons that they summon. Since my chain attacks will take care of them anyways. I have low enough health that the poison's nearly always lethal as well. I need to hide all the way over there. Interesting. Oof. Lots of hydras. Let's just fire rapidly. I don't actually remember whether or not charging the bow deals more damage or if it's just a range extender. I know there is a game where the bow charging is just a range extender and doesn't deal bonus damage. I've forgotten whether or not it's this game or something else. I know it does deal bonus damage when you get it at perfect charge. Oh, I accidentally killed that Hydra head. Those casts always do far more damage than I'm expecting. I suppose I did very specifically upgrade that. I'm also surprised that my health is still very low. Maximum health, that is.
Which to choose?
I suppose I'll keep going with the Chaos Egg, if only to level it up more. Interesting. I have yet to beat Theseus and the Minotaur with the bow, but I've already done it with the rail. I feel I'm far worse with the rail than I am with the gun. Or with the bow, rather. Very difficult for me to determine which ranged weaponry I'm good with and which I'm not. Chariots are an eyesore. Oh, butterflies. How deeply unfortunate. I'll have to find the next source of butterflies. Deals so little damage. I really should remember to use fast more often. Oh, hammer, perfect. Better get the special upgrade off of this.
Easy.
Just realized that these tiny bomb chariots sound like growling dogs.
How many more of these are there?
I feel like that's not really too insightful of a comment, but... I've noted the sound that they were making, but it was very difficult for me to properly place it. Alright, hammer.
Shall get this bow back into tip-top shape.
Our shot is easier to execute, point-blank damage. How unfortunate. Well, may as well increase the damage. Or obol. Spend or acquire money. Not too confident in my ability to beat Theseus, so... purchasing it is. What boon can you offer me, Poseidon?
Now, little Hades, you have met my brother Zeus. He's sometimes known as King of all the gods. Although in many ways he's not as powerful as I, or anywhere as dashing.
Ah.
You know better than to say such things about me, I should think. I know that tact does not come easily to you, so I'd be careful what you say to our good nephew there. Anyway, as I was saying, little ladies, Brother Zeus is king of all the gods, and the most dashing, powerful, and hey, let's face it, godliest of all.
Well then. If only... only my knockback was on a ability that I used more often. Well, neither of the other ones are particularly appealing to me, so I'll take it anyways. Once again, Athena, I would like to be given deflect on my dash in lieu of what I have now.
You are more skilled than I expected, short one. A rematch is most certainly in order.
You're going to force a rematch each time I manage to defeat you, aren't you?
We and our victories are all impermanent here in Elysium. We live.
Alright, now then. Okay, it does seem to affect him a little bit. There's a very slight lightning strike. Not that it's going to do more damage than the dots that I can apply with Hangover. Especially not given the extreme difficulty in shotgunning him with the rally. I'm wondering if it's better to time out the perfect strike. Does it do more damage to time it out than... I don't think I'm going to make it out of here with all of my death defiances. I expect to lose at least one, if not more. Ah, there it is. Alright, hopefully I don't lose another one. Or else I highly doubt that I'll be able to beat him in the actual boss fight. What wonderful timing, my nose itches. Just when I'm almost finished with this fight. If I lose one more Death Defiance, I'm going to be extremely cross. Ah. Huh. Interesting, normally he has a little bit to say after that. Once again, nothing that I want. Suppose I'll take the call. Neither of the other ones are particularly useful.
Stand aside.
Oh, I am not going to survive this. Oh my goodness, I forgot that that existed. If I'd remembered my cast, perhaps I would not have lost that. Very... There's my last Death Defiance. Well, perhaps I can meet the, man that can restore my Death Defiances. That'd be pleasant.
You should have listened. In the name of Hades.
Back faster. Probably the best. Ah, hello, Lucy. Good to see you. Ah, time to stand up, or not stand up, but sit up straight, rather. I would very much enjoy if I could get my Death Defiances back. I don't know that I remember seeing you in here previously. Good to have you around. Feels as if you may have shown up once before. I'm a bit foggy on that. Afraid I've not made it to too many of your streams recently either. Ooh. Fortunately, the bow isn't the most engaging playstyle in the game, as it involves a lot of standing still and holding left click down. I'm about to die. For real this time. And I'm not even fighting a boss. If I die here, this is going to be the first time that I've not died to a boss in quite some time. Well, let's ensure that that doesn't happen. Oh, please stop running away. Oh dear. Well, at least it's a swordsman, not an archer. I can potentially deal with that. This isn't looking up for me. I suppose this is my only hope at receiving any healing. Hopefully, it's just these three, and this is the only encounter in this room. Oh, well, he's 4. I can hope. Because That is the only way that I see myself having the remotest chance of victory. Right, there's one down. Two. Okay. Very nearly died there. Alright, and is that enough? It certainly isn't. Yes, finally catching stream. Well, probably not the best time to come by, given that I just did rather embarrassingly poorly there. Perhaps I'll use a weapon I'm better at.
Great shield, huh? Did you try attacking while their guard was down, or did they just not let down their guard at any point? Oh.
Yeah.
You never learn.
Like there's not too much conversation to be had here.
I understand that you created quite a stir within Elysium. An all-out brawl within Eternal Paradise.
You call that paradise? It's just a bunch of shades bored out of their former skulls, itching for a chance to feel alive again.
What would you know of it? The greatest mortals have their every need fulfilled within that place. Dread to hear what they shall say of all of this.
You'll find out soon enough. Nix, all you've done to help me with the Olympians, the mirror, the house contractor, I worry that if Father were to know that he would turn his wrath upon you. I don't want anything to happen.
You need not fear for me, my child. For I am not some underling your father has authority to punish if it pleases him. I am the knight, and it is by my grace that this house stands. Your father knows this. Thus, he and I have certain common goals. We are obligated to cooperate.
Then, if there's really nothing he can do, why go along with his deception? About my birth mother, I mean.
Please, that is something I am not at liberty to say. When you meet your birth mother eventually, you shall understand.
All right.
I am rather curious to see how Persephone is portrayed.
You have there, Shade. That looks like contraband to me.
It is, mistress. I'm glad you're here, as maybe you can help me quickly to dispose of it.
Let us immediately do so then, before concerns arise around the presence of this stuff within the house.
Could be contraband in here. Perhaps Iker? Not entirely sure. I think I can reflect once more. There it is, God's Legacy. I'll get a legendary boon one of these days. The shield. I was thinking I wanted to use either the sword or the gloves this run. I'm feeling gloves a bit more.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice. Well, time to go get killed again.
I'm going to start giving Skelly gifts. I'm curious as to who he actually is.
How goes it this time, man? Everything fine? Go hold that fort. I wager we can make things finer yet.
High-level Festive Fog might not be that bad. I think I want to save my melee attack for something a bit better. Simple poison. Probably should have altered that door before going into it. I don't have much more use for keys nowadays. Especially given that I've unlocked everything the mirror has to offer. Ah, but I am very interested in getting this hammer. Hammers are quite possibly the most interesting thing this game has to offer. Oh, I didn't see you there. These fists have to be my favorite weapon that I'm still quite bad at using. I think Concentrated Knuckle is probably the best one for long-term fights. Draining Cutter might also be useful in the lighter stages of the game. Take Concentrated Knuckle though. It'll help me out a lot more with bosses. And simple staying alive. I also shouldn't switch targets, that means. I get a high level bonus, what is it? High level crit damage on my basic attack. I might stake it. You attack so quickly with this weapon. No. I think that's worth it. Ah, but Hunter's Dash assuredly is. I dash strike all the time. Let's change the bonus. Neither of them are particularly good for me. I don't have enough gold for a shop. And keys are pointless to get now. Punching things is just so much fun in this game. I'll try my best, Aqua, don't worry. Dash strikes are just so useful with this weapon. What do I want out of this? Perhaps a cast buff? No, I already have one. I forgot. Cast buff that I should be making full use of. As it can just stun lock enemies like this. I think chilling enemies could be very useful with this. I don't use my special often enough. Interesting. But the special hits in 2 steps. The first time it pulls towards me, and the second time it's an uppercut. Very interestingly, only the uppercut actually applies slow. If I had known that, I don't think I would have picked it. I was expecting to be able to slow from a distance. That's why I chose that. But also interestingly is that it hits twice, as it applies 2 stacks of slow instead of just the 1. Because I also got the baseline upgrade that causes the uppercut to slow irregardless of what benefits it has on it. It applies 2 different types of slow. I'm wondering whether or not they stack. It's also interesting. I believe Dionysus is probably the easier one to dodge the casts of, because I've not yet seen what Demeter does.
You have my gratitude.
Do I want? I don't particularly want this. Without Arctic Blast, that is. I don't want Arctic Blast without that. I suppose once I defeat the boss, I will look into getting Demeter's Blessing, or Gift. I'll take Frost Strike then, it's the more immediately applicable bonus.
Come on, Zach. Now that was not the choice I would have made. You messing with me, man? All right, I'll mess with you.
He won't stand for this. He can't stay mad forever.
Fortunately, with this setup, I should be able to end this fight fairly quickly, and I won't have to worry about all of Dionysus's little poison pools. My previous runs, I've been using very slow damaging items, but this one kills quickly and efficiently. There we are.
Okay, thanks for a good laugh there, Zach. What was it I was going on about before?
I suppose I'll take that just for completion's sake. Probably also fairly beneficial given how reckless I tend to be while using these fists. I wonder. The bonus I have increases my damage on consecutive hits, but if I'm hitting two enemies at once, does it count as consecutive for the both of them? I have so many mechanical questions about this game.
Delicious.
Improve the cast, it's already a high level. Might as well make it even stronger. What I really want to boost, though, is my dash attack.
Delicious.
That one. Exactly as I requested.
Got a feeling it's Tisiphone this time.
Been Electo quite a lot.
Oh well.
May I help you with something, Zagreus?
Now that you mention it, you can, Meg. I was wondering, what was Father carrying on with you about back home?
Eavesdropping again? If you must know, my job performance is under review. Though I'm sure this job's about to go just fine.
I doubt it. You're the easiest of the sisters for me to beat.
That was nothing.
Especially given that you are moving at 2 miles an hour, now that I have applied chills to you. I'm just going to lay into her as much as possible. I don't need to heal. I can just hit. Alright, well, time to take care of the ads, now that she is invulnerable for a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry, Megra, you're just, a bit too easy to defeat.
Yes. Let's hear it, Father.
Interesting. Frostbitten Horn. Don't have anything that I really want to get rid of. My health is nearly full. I don't need to fish. Just got rid of the Chaos Egg, so I don't need the gate anymore.
Getting warmer.
Let's see. I am coming up on Hermes. I'd very much like it. If I was able to get this boon that allows me to dash multiple times in a row. Because right now I'm just stuck at 2. I just had the thought that, what is it? Once I...
And I think you know what's inside. Well,
Side hustle, quick recovery, special is faster. I'll take special faster. What was I saying? Right, when I use the pull-in, it applies 2 stacks immediately. So then that means that it gives me a head start on getting the full 10 stacks of chill. Which is fairly useful. For once I finally get Cold Snap. If I get Cold Snap, that is. I have so many different cold bonuses that I can't imagine it wouldn't be offered. Here's hoping. Interesting. Cast blasts an area with freezing festive fog. Oh. I suppose I'll take the wine. Hello, Mitz. Welcome. Glad you were able to make it. I suppose I'll start upgrading these boons. I fear that I've played this game so much that I'm running out of things to say about it. As I've said almost everything there is to say. I wouldn't want to stop playing it before I reach the end. Work starts later than usual. Oh. Fun.
Power of Olympus.
Let's improve this. Oh no, the dash strike, obviously. Alright. Ooh. I am, somehow worse at avoiding these projectiles now that they're slow moving. Oh, fortunately, I don't have to worry about them anymore, because she is dead now. Those enemies are actually just more difficult to deal with when they're slower.
I am truly blessed simply to have made your acquaintance, so this is for you.
Lasting relationships are built on reciprocity. So if you lavish me with gifts, why, what am I to do but give you something in return?
I'm honored, Aphrodite.
Alright. I'm only missing a single boon at this point.
A great hero called Achilles now resides within your
dearest. I always wish to meet with him someday.
That one's not for me. Call. My foes are slain. I suppose I'll take her aid. It's the least objectionable out of the three. This was a very close victory, though. Oh, that is interesting. It doesn't lob anymore. This has severely improved my cast. It has shortened its range a fair bit, but now it triggers instantly.
Should I take the train?
Don't need to.
Where now?
Darkness for sure. I need the healing off of it. Even if I do have to deal with the mini-boss section. But my cast is sufficiently powerful enough to deal with anything like this. Where are you? Come out, you undead Diglett. Seems to dissipate a bit faster, perhaps. Which is good. Come on down. Let me pick them up quicker. Where's the exit? I think I'll visit the shop. I need some health. I don't think I was going to get it from that other room. Apparently not getting it here either.
Get me going. A boon for a boon.
Yes, the Seeking Arrow will definitely be very useful with this setup. Given how quickly the fists hit.
I see you grew your heads back.
Menace. Now this is where I want to have the chilling aura. Or the cold snap? I forget what it's called. Whichever one that causes an explosion when they reach 10. Interesting that you're still affected by the lava on the ground in the middle of a self-inflicted blizzard. Oh, I am going to be victim to quite a lot of skeletons in the near future. Like I said, I am far too reckless with these fists for my own good. I have taken an incredible amount more damage than I should have. I even had to defy death. That hasn't happened in the Hydra for quite a while. Punching is just too much fun. I'm not too optimistic about this run. I do have some very good boons, but simply don't think my skill with this weapon is going to live up to the requirements. You know what? Taking that nail. I don't want to deal with too many enemies in this area. Going to be tricky enough dealing with resurrecting enemies. May as well have a little bit of help while I'm doing it. Ah, the hammer. Well, I feel like this weapon is the one that I use the hammer on the least. Base stats are already so good for me that I just don't change them very often. That's very amusing that that arrow is just endlessly circling. Ah. Now then. Hello, Ray. Welcome. These are all very good options. I think I would like the sturdy. Once again, given how reckless I am. There's quite a few names that I recognize in here today. Glad so many of you were able to come out for this. Would have liked some verbal warning about that, Zagreus. Normally you're so very good at telling me when these enemies are about to resurrect. Ah. Shagpie. I feel like that's a name that I've not seen here before. Welcome to the stream, though. Automatic God Gauge is probably pretty good. Go for some upgrades. Although saying that, the name Shagpie does sound oddly familiar. I don't know if we've had interactions elsewhere, but I feel as if this is the first time I've seen you on stream. Normally archers are far more bother them for me than the mages. New? Oh. Oh. I'm glad you decided to come give it a try. Use those seeking arrows. Okay. This is probably my last chance to get Cold Snap. But I forgot that to do so, I would have to fight these butterflies. Hopefully I can end this fight before I have to deal with too many of these enemies. There we go. As long as I can charm them. Ooh, I thought you were going to stay charmed for a little while longer. Ah. Alright then, Demeter, what do you have for me? Yes, I think I do want Killing Freeze. Can be much more useful for bosses.
But you must hate these, Stranger, I am warning you. If you keep showing up like this, I'm going to have to find a new nickname for you.
No need to go out of your way there, sir. We're just acquaintances. I don't know anything about you either.
Well, you don't.
This place is for the greatest of the Greeks. Do I seem like the sort to fit in here? Go on and chat with Theseus, or someone of that sort.
Yes, I suppose Patroclus is only well known for being second to Achilles. Not even second, just... I would like to replenish my Death Defiance, but I'm only missing one. And there's a potential that you can replenish a single Death Defiance out of a well. I think I actually just want to boost my health. Let's go for some Obol. Oh. This is not enemies that I enjoy fighting with fists. I'm going to do my best to kill them all with my cast. Even if I punch them to death, oh my. Get them to run into those arrows. These enemies are so difficult to fight with melee weapons, it's unbelievable. Ah, I expected a couple more rounds there. More health, please. I'd like to be at full health when I finally get to the boss of this area. Okay. Fortunately, well, I suppose both fortunately and unfortunately, this is the last room in which I deal bonus damage to shields. It seems like that's probably not going to matter too much longer. I would like very much for this butterfly ball to stop existing. Same with this one. I foresee this cold drain buff being the only reason that I'm able to defeat the bosses in this level. Oh. For some reason I was unable to dash through the wall there. That bomb should kill it. Ah. Oh no. don't particularly mind these shield enemies that much when I'm playing a fast-moving melee class like this. Just when I have to actually deal with their shields instead of being able to run around behind them and mercilessly beat them. Shop or upgrade? I believe this is going to be the final room. I'll take the upgrade. Like I suspected, it's a free upgrade. I'll take the dash. Alright, onto the boss. Hopefully this will go well.
Upon my word, the fiend again darkens these halls. Alas, Asterius, it seems I was mistaken and he hasn't learned his lesson after all.
And what's this lesson that I ought to have learned? Is it to always slay you first since you're so damn insufferable all the time?
Your lesson, monster, is to never, ever take up arms against those favored by the gods themselves. You shall never see the light of day as I once did. No offense, Asterius.
I've never actually attempted to destroy them both at the same time, but I suppose there's a first time for everything. Especially given that I deal bonus damage if they're both chilled. Alright, has that done anything? This may actually be the first time that I kill Theseus first. Ah, it is. Ah. I made it through that a lot easier than I thought I would.
That's all for today's show.
I didn't even lose a Death Defiance. What boon do I have right now? Demeter? Not particularly useful where I'm going. Suppose I should take something with slightly more immediate benefit. You know what? I'm going to take this one. Actually, oh, too late.
I'm almost to the top.
I forgot that these rooms don't count as individual encounters. My mistake.
Almost out of here. Lots on offer here.
I wonder, should I try and save up for the blood? Or should I try and get Snap Freeze? Snap Freeze.
Place, mate.
Suppose I'll take Ravenous Well. It is a foretold gathering. Ah. But I have one more chance. One more chance at Snap Freeze. Not a big fan of how difficult these rats make it to get close to them. Just spew bile all over the ground. It's quite an eyesore. Ah. Like, the pots have something that contains viscera inside of them. That's not pleasant to think about.
Don't like the look of that big bother over there.
Okay. Not entirely sure how you were meant to dodge that.
What even are those things?
Hey.
I accept this message.
Batter at 10% health, inflicting chill nearby. This is what I wanted, though. Arctic Blast. I don't think Winter Harvest is going to be too useful, unfortunately. Although, if that affects bosses, that means you don't actually have to deal the last 10% of their health. However, I think dealing 100 damage every 10 stacks is probably better in the long run.
Hey, think I see a fish.
Oh, a fish. Interesting. So they just have a random chance of appearing if you've completed a level. Could theoretically get a fish every level you complete.
I got one. I caught a scuffer.
And it's new fishes as well. Alright then, bonus health. Ooh. A little bit of extra gold. Never hurt anyone. I didn't actually take into consideration that the explosion's also good for just dealing with groups of enemies, because it does cause an explosion after all. Wow.
That'll keep me alive.
That is exactly what I wanted.
Found it fast this time. Refreshing.
I feel as if this is probably
Some satyrs and get out of here.
the best chance I've ever had.
Prince Zagreus once more offers to Cerberus one of his favored sacks.
I just looked over at my stream manager and the screen was flat black. Refreshing now to make sure it's nothing wrong with it.
Thank you, boy.
Okay. Everything seems to be in working order. It was just an issue on my end.
You're never late, Father.
There was a time when Cerberus would never have permitted any soul to exit through that gateway there behind you.
Thanks for the input.
Oh, that can't possibly be true. What about Orpheus, Theseus, Heracles, Odysseus? Countless tales of brave men delving into the underworld, then leaving whence they came.
They left on my authority alone, nor did they take for granted entered my good graces. You believe you are entitled simply to walk out of here, from your birthright and your responsibilities. But I am here to tell you no.
Alright, I very unfortunately have no way of regaining my health. Which has been integral every single other time that I've fought Hades.
What shall it take for all of this to end?
You know exactly what it's going to take.
A stubborn oaf. A miserable husk of a man. What would you know of misery? Prepare.
Aphrodite!
Who dares threaten my little goblin?
Aphrodite has no jurisdiction here. Darkness.
Alright, I just need to stop attacking whenever I see him charging up because I am taking damage that I could be avoiding. Ah, like that.
Idiot.
Alright. I'm hoping that I'll still have a single use of Death Defiance left when it comes time to enter the second stage of this fight. Ah, no such luck, unfortunately.
Your youth provides you with a certain mindless strength, but such power has its limits.
Alright.
Come on and die.
Pure passion coming up.
Alright. That was a good, Ooh.
You're trapped.
Alright. Well, that was a, good attempt, I suppose. Just not quite good enough.
Oh, he's tough for an old man.
I feel like that's... Ooh, maybe... the fourth time I've made it to Hades, and the third time I've made it to his second stage. Perhaps fifth time I've made it to Hades. Oh. That's been a fairly long stream. I've been going for, 2.5 hours now at this point. And I'm glad so many people, came along to view. Glad that, Mitzpun, you were able to make it to the stream, since you've been very unfortunately, yeah, ill-timed. And I'm glad to see a couple of new faces. Ah, see, one of my friends, Kojiro Kano, is streaming right now. I suppose I shall go raid him. If you would come along, be very grateful. So, I'm going to move over to the end screen, but I hope you all enjoyed yourself in the stream. Yes, you have fun as well, Jazzmeister. But, au revoir.